I'm just Bbegurlinn.
Hey, we back on you better. Yes. Welcome to the Bbegurlinn channel. If you haven't watched before, welcome. And if you have watched before, welcome back, baby. Yes. Okay, so today we're talking about my abstinence journey. And I'm just gonna, state the obvious. I'm 27 and yeah, I've never lost my V card yet. So that's, so that's like scary for most people, but I'm just gonna talk through my feelings about it, how that decision came about, because for me personally, I'm waiting till marriage. And I'm just gonna go through, the whole situation. It's weird because I get so many comments from like people. A lot of the time when I tell people, they don't believe me, first of all. I'm like, should I be offended? I'm not sure. But then I understand, like, I'm nearly 30 and I'm abstinent. That is typically not considered that normal. I'm not gonna lie, it's not considered that normal. But I'm gonna talk to you about like how I came to this decision. So I came to this decision probably about 8 years old. I just thought about it and it's like I grew up in a Christian household, so that was pretty much expected. But it's like you still have to come to that decision yourself. And for me, I said, you know what? This is something, let me just put my dog down. This is something special to me. This is only one, like you only get one virginity, and for me it's just like I always saw it as like it's the biggest gift for me to be able to do that, give that to my husband. And first of all, I want to part the ship here. That is no insult to people that have lost their virginity and are going to, or deciding to wait to marriage, or they're not waiting to marriage. There's no judgment there at all. It's literally just a personal choice. Like for me, I genuinely believe that it's a beautiful thing to give anybody, whether you're virgin or not. But just for me personally, I said I only want to give that once, and I want to give that to my husband. And to most people, that's considered very like, but for me, it's just a decision I came to early, and that really shaped the way I saw dating, the way I went into relationships. For me, I actually haven't been in a relationship either. I'm going to talk through that again as well, but that's a whole situation. And for me, it's like a lot of the questions that people want to ask, it's like, are you struggling? I feel like I struggled a little when I was younger, like maybe around 19, early 20s, like 20, 21 type kind of time. I just want to be authentic with this because I'm not gonna be one of those Christians be like, oh, I ain't never struggle, like it's easy, like no. First of all, I've only been able to do this because the strength of Almighty God. How about that? How about that? I've only been able to do this with the strength of God, because honestly, like, I will go into that in a second. But anyways, so struggles in the past, now it wasn't really something that I knew within myself. No matter how much I was struggling, I wasn't going to break my commitment to God and my commitment to myself, because that was important to me. Like for me, everyone has things that are important to them, but for me, I was just like, no, I want this to be a special, like I want my wedding night to be special. I want it to be a first for me in terms of like, because people ask this as well, they say like, oh, do you want your husband to be a virgin? I'm not particularly very bothered, because like the way that I see it, I don't look at people as a sum of their past or some of their like decisions. Like, and for me it's like, even though I'm waiting till marriage, it's considered like quite, a big statement coming from somebody that's waiting till marriage. But I don't define anybody's worth based on whether they're virgin or their body count. Like he could have a body count of a huge number, but as long as he's like realized that's not how he wants to live anymore, and he's on like the path of like with Christ, I'm really not bothered. Like I'm not, like I'm really just like, it is what it is. But in the struggles in the past, I remember I just had to remind myself, and kind of speak to myself and just be like, you know what? Remember why you're doing this. And I knew that no matter how much I was struggling at the time, it wasn't something I was ready or ever wanting to ever compromise. Is important to me. And I know that for me, it's like I made a promise to God that like this is a line I'm not going to cross. Because at the end of the day, I'm an imperfect individual. I just want to put that out there. Because like when you say this, a lot of the time, like there's some people that take it in like a self-righteous way, that where they feel like, oh, like you think you all that, like girl, like you think you're better than us. Like no, I don't feel like I'm better than anybody. I genuinely don't. It's, for me, it's just something that happens to be a part of what I'm doing in life. And my direction. It's not really something I see as my identity, because that's the whole situation. I got to tell you about that, about identity, because that's the whole situation. But for me, it's like, because I've seen girls that they made like their virginity the whole of their identity. Okay, wait for me. Sorry, it's my dog. And when they lost their virginity to their husband, they literally kind of shame spiraled, and they didn't know what they were without their virginity. Like for me, it's just like in my head, and the way I look at myself and the way I define myself, like my virginity and waiting till marriage is literally at the back of the list. If I was getting to know somebody, it wouldn't be at the forefront of the list. I actually want your guys' opinion. Please put down in the comments, because for me, it's kind of shaped the way that I kind of date and get into relationships. Because before, I used to kind of go straight to it, and I'd just be like, yeah, like I'm waiting to marriage. Like, okay, come on, let me get my dog, my baby dog. You're cute. I would kind of say it early on, purely because I just didn't want to waste my time. It was just a case like, I don't want to get in a relationship with you, catch feelings for you, like, you know, get attached to you emotionally. Like, I'm getting to know you, you're getting to know me, we're sharing like our fears, very deep stuff about ourselves. Like, I find that quite intimate, having conversations where you're telling someone the depths of your soul and your heart, and you're really getting to know somebody, and then you're catching feelings. For me, I just don't have it in me to like go through all that like you, because I don't like people often. I feel like I've only strung like one person in my life, and I haven't been in love yet. So I ain't trying to do that like multiple times. Like, I know myself. I'm a lover girl. Yeah. I'm literally a lover girl. Like, I'm not, everyone should know the limitations. I have not got the capacity to give myself, even in talking stage with multiple guys, and be liking all of them or liking numerous guys, because at the end of the day, that's how you get dating burnout. Dating burnout is such a problem, bro. Oh my gosh. It's like, you see people, like, especially like when they get into relationship, you just get tired of dating, you get tired of men, or you get tired of women, and you just don't want to do it anymore. And for me, that's not something that I want to put myself through. I just want to like, I'm kind of enjoying my life. I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm enjoying my life. I'm taking my life easy. I'm just like going with the ways of life. Like, I've got goals that I want to reach. It's just not at the forefront of my mind to date right now. And the way I see it as well, in terms of even choosing a prospective partner, I look at so many different things, and I look at whether you're going to be a liability or a supplemental person in my life. Are you going to add to my life? Because that is like very important to me. But I'm just not sure in the sense of at what point you should mention that in a relationship, or like when you're getting to know somebody. Because like, even with Christian men, you know, not all of them are willing to wait for marriage, which is, you know, a whole nother conversation in itself. But I'm not sure when to kind of say it. I kind of think I'll just get to know the person more, and then like probably bring it into the conversation, because purely I just don't want to waste my time, because if that's like a non-negotiable for him and like a deal breaker, I kind of want to get it out the way. But anyways, I'm moving on now. And you know what's so interesting about self-righteousness, about waiting till marriage? Like, you know, the way I see it as well, it literally says in the Bible that if you've lusted after women with your eyes, you've committed the act, like spiritually. So the way that I see it, me, I've been guilty of my man going to the gutter. I'm gonna be honest. So in God's eyes, I'm no better, and I don't consider myself better than anybody, because this, like, it's a journey for everyone, and everybody's, you know, like the way I see it, everybody's just a boy or girl living for the first time. Like, everyone's just having their first human experience in every year that they take. Everybody's trying, everyone's trying to do their best. It's another go in the grand scheme of things, like, nobody's worth is defined by that. It's not at all. But the thing is, like, for me, I had to also be on a journey of making sure I was walking in purity in my mind as well as physically, because even when I was doing not like when I was like walking in purity physically, like my mind, like if you allow your mind to go certain places, your mind will take you to the gutter, and then you go to the sewer, and then you go straight to hell. Like, the mind be taking you to the gutter. Like, it's not good. It's not good at all. And I try really hard. I always have to be very like intentional, even when it comes to the type of films I watch. If there are like sex scenes in a film, I try to forward it, or I try to just not watch films that have a lot of sex scenes, especially when it's like really raunch, and you know, there's a lot of like graphic detail. Like, I ain't trying to watch all that. And I've had to be so mindful about that. And it's like getting closer to God as well. You don't even want to watch that stuff anyways. Like before, like you may want to watch it a bit just to kind of understand, but like no, when you get close to God, you don't want to do that. And it's like I had to literally change like my entire playlist of music because I was listening to a lot of music. And for me, I was just like, well, I love the beat, I love the vibe, I like the sound. It doesn't really matter that the content of what they're speaking about. But then I realized it does affect you spiritually. You find that you start struggling in that area much more when you're literally feeding your soul with that kind of behavior, literally feeding your soul with the music that kind of prioritizes and talks about promiscuity and talks about one night stands and talks about very graphic content. Like if you like Jenny, for advice for girlies that are also abstinent, I would Jenny tell you, be mindful of what you watch, be mindful of what you listen to, and be mindful what conversations you engage with. Obviously, we are girls, girl. You know, with your girls, you do want to like kind of discuss things that are on your mind or any questions that you have, but I wouldn't spark too much curiosity because when you talk about it too much, it consumes your mind. Then you have the urge to kind of like research. Like I've heard of like people falling in the trap of like pornography by like researching and trying to understand things, and then they get addicted. So you have to be very mindful about that because, you know, naturally like there are obviously a lot of things that you don't know about sexual intimacy, especially if you're abstinent and you're like not doing anything of like other than sexual actual intercourse and stuff. There's a lot of things you're not going to know, and it's really just it's just like I really would just say to like women in that situation and men as well that it's okay not to know everything. It's okay. Like no one's gonna flog you. And Jenny, when you love someone, and I'm speaking to myself right now, period. But when you find somebody that loves you and genuinely values you and sees the beauty in you, your performance when you eventually have sex and how much you do or do not know won't matter. It's not even going to add to the moment. Like it's not going to take away from it either. It's just the way you that you have to kind of see it is like finally having sex with somebody is the exchange of love, and that's what you're doing. So take the pressure off yourself before you freaking get excited and you're just like, I don't know what to do, should I research? Obviously you can ask questions to like your mum or like maybe friends. Maybe you're not comfortable to ask your mum those questions, but like a close friend, and kind of like find out what you need to know. But I'd keep it brief because I feel like if you like know too much, girl, you're gonna get stressed. You're gonna get stressed. Like you're gonna start worrying unnecessarily because really and truly it's a beautiful experience that you're gonna have with your spouse. It's going to be a moment where you just exchange love for the first time, and it's beautiful and you don't even have to worry about it. But this is my abstinence journey. I hope you enjoyed. If you have any questions, like pop it in the comments, and like also I would really love your guys' opinion of when you think I should personally mention that, like when I start dating and stuff. But it's Bbegurlinn. Thank you.
Bye, baby.